Kitchen Conversations with Jessica Silas.
Yeah. This is where you wanna be. This is where you wanna be. This is where you wanna be. Friendship, food, and honesty. Friendship, food, and honesty. Friendship, food, and honesty. This is where you wanna be. This is where you wanna be. This is where you wanna be. Come in and join the conversation.
Kitchen Conversations with Jessica Silas.
This is where you wanna be. 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 This is where you wanna be.
Kitchen Conversations with Jessica Silas.
Hey everybody, welcome back to season 2 of Kitchen Conversations with Jessica. It's me, Jessica. We back, baby. I'm so excited to be back in the kitchen with each one of you. Little Miss Rona came to town and kind of ruined the plan. So, our break was longer than normal, but we're back. We're better than ever with amazing meals, greater conversation. It's going to be good. We're talking all things mental health and entrepreneurship this season. I just feel like it's necessary, okay? So just trust me on this one. Kick back, get ready. I'm bringing my amazing friend Treesje in today. She's a licensed psychologist and a creative entrepreneur. There was no other person that I decided was, more important to start this season off with. So she'll be joining us in the kitchen. We have an amazing meal plan. Get ready. It's going to be good. See you soon. Treesje, you made it to the kitchen. I'm so happy that you're joining me for season 2. I thought it was the most important thing to have a licensed psychologist in here to talk all things mental health, because little Miss Rona came to town this year. She tore some stuff up.
All the stuff.
And people have been struggling.
Absolutely.
And so I wanted to look out for our family out there. And so I wanted you in the kitchen when we were planning. I was like, Treesje! We gotta have Treesje! So thank you for coming into the kitchen.
Yes, I'm so excited. I see you got some good stuff over here. I don't know what we're gonna make yet. I know you're gonna tell me, but absolutely. For me, my mental health was so tied to cooking in the kitchen. And so I am so excited to be here with everybody, because we're gonna be talking and eating, and I know you get down in the kitchen, so I'm excited.
It's gonna be a good little family time. We're gonna talk, we're gonna eat, we're gonna laugh. I might even shed some tears because I be crying all the time now.
Try not to make you cry.
Just please don't. Don't make this be like my therapy session. I'll be like, oh my God, okay, you're right. You're so right. I am struggling there.
So they heal.
Right. Healing brings
Deep
good
breaths.
tears. Healing brings such good tears. So I'm grateful that you came into the kitchen today, because I've missed traveling so much.
Oh, yes.
Jamaica is like my staple travel point every year. For 5 years, I went to Jamaica every single year.
Oh my gosh, my husband thinks he's perfect. But
Well,
I love
this is-
Jamaican food.
This is perfect because we're making some Jamaican jerk bowls.
Yes.
So,
jerk chicken.
yes. So, because I'm trying to be a little bit healthier, because I absolutely gained the Rona 10 or 15 or
listen.
20 or whatever. Who's counting? Stay out of my business. And so we're going to make some Jamaican jerk tofu. But I didn't want to scare you out of the kitchen or anything like that. So we also have jerk chicken. And then we'll put it over some roasted broccoli. And then we have this pineapple salsa to go on top, because, jerk food is kind of spicy. And then so you put the pineapple salsa on top, and it gives the refreshingness. It's fire.
And I gotta appreciate the low carb option.
Yes! See? We're gonna also put it over rice though.
Okay.
It's mixed rice, it's mixed grain. It's really healthy, guys. Trust me.
Healthy rice.
And so I'm excited to eat. I'm excited to talk.
Yes.
Let's get into this meal.
Let's.
Okay, so we have some chicken here and some tofu here. So we'll get started with that.
All right.
So take our little bowls. I already pre-chopped it, no need to waste time.
Efficiency. Come on.
I really try. And so I made my own Jamaican seasoning.
No
because
way.
I don't like buying stuff, so I just
You don't know what's in it?
Exactly.
So what's in that?
It's a bunch of stuff.
Oh, it's a secret.
It's literally over 13 different seasonings. in one. So I made my own little seasoning blend. We washed our hands, guys. We're Rona clean. And it's our food, so get out of our business. So I'm just gonna go ahead and salt bay it up, jerk bay it up.
A little bit of sprinkle. Okay.
Sprinkle. Make sure they're very well seasoned, because I like good seasoned food. Don't give me no bland food.
What
especially
E40 says, sprinkle me.
Sprinkle me, man. Yes. You're speaking my language. Hip hop. 90s hip hop.
Listen, raised in Cali.
R&B. Like that is
I'm a
love to
90s
me.
baby, so I feel it.
Me too. So that probably looks good.
Okay.
I usually end up adding a little bit more.
Yes.
And I'll probably do a little bit of salt because even though I put salt in the blend, I don't like bland food.
Right.
So we'll do that. And then for the tofu, because I don't like mushy tofu.
Tell me about this tofu because I feel like it's the perpetrator of all foods. It just tastes like whatever is around.
That's good though.
Okay, so that's a good thing.
I think that's good to me because it takes on so many different flavors.
Okay.
Then you're not like bored with it and you can put it into everything. So initially I only did tofu when I would eat like Thai food because I love the way they like fry it and it's really good fire.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started like trying it a little bit more, but it was kind of hard for me to like figure out how to cook myself.
So how we gonna make this Jamaican tofu?
Girl, so we put the seasoning on. I'm gonna make sure it's all covered and stuff.
Okay.
I'm gonna put a little grapeseed oil and then we're gonna like low-key fry it in the pan
Okay.
to make it a little bit more crispy.
Oh, so we got a little crispy.
Yeah, add a little like texture to it so it's not like mushy.
A little
like
character.
it's yes, we're gonna add character to the tofu, y'all.
That's right.
And then the chicken, it's chicken, so it's gonna be good.
Chicken is chicken. You can't really mess up chicken.
So I'm gonna just drizzle a little bit of this on here.
All right.
And then
Let the oil flow.
Let the
Listen,
oil flow.
in the name.
Let it run over. If you can do me a favor,
What you
in that drawer,
This one?
yeah. Can we get like a spoon or
All right. Let's see. This one works? This one?
it's this one?
This your kitchen.
Okay, so we're gonna keep it going. We're gonna give it to me. This is what I do for you. This is
It's all right. We remodel, we reorganize. I
Yeah.
do stuff all the time. I hide stuff for myself.
and then are surprised every time you find it.
That's right.
So this is pretty well seasoned. We'll let this one sit, and then I'll get one more spoon for the chicken.
Okay.
We don't want to cross-contaminate in here.
Listen, and for our vegan folks that don't want meat in their stuff,
Yeah, don't worry,
Respect.
y'all. We're not gonna put the little animals with the tofu. Don't worry. I'm only vegan like 5 days a month.
once a month.
So then the same with the chicken. I pre-cut it. It's seasoned good. Look at this.
Oh, that looks real good.
Look at
I'm
this.
ready. That's my bowl? That's
Yeah.
for me?
You know, this will be for you. I want you to try the tofu though. At least
I
like do a little taste. Just humor me in the kitchen. So these are both good. I'll probably add a little oil to the chicken as well,
Okay.
just so it's nice and lathered.
Yes.
And then obviously the pan that we cook it in will have some oil in it as well.
That looks so, it smells, you not here, but you can smell it. It's just the ambiance.
It's
I
a
can
sweet
smell
aroma.
the vibes. The Jamaican vibes are coming
It's
through
a sweet
already.
aroma like the Lord.
Listen.
It gives off a sweet aroma. So yeah, that's good to me. And then we'll go ahead and turn on the stove. If you want to do that.
Okay.
You
Okay.
can.
Which
So
this
we'll turn
one?
on both of those pilots.
All right. Okay. It's a nice little, it's an impressive clip.
Yeah. And then
There
if
we
you
go.
grab that oil there and drizzle your pan for me.
Drizzle. We're going to drizzle. We're going to do
Let
a
it
little
drizzle.
swirl up in there. Little fancy swirl.
Right.
All
Because
right.
we fancy on Kitchen Conversations with Jessica.
Right.
We do fancy stuff.
I did the olive oil like I did my baby hair. Little-
Ooh, yeah. That was one of my goals for quarantine that I didn't quite get.
To learn baby hair?
Learn baby
It is
hair.
an art. It is an art to baby hair. I still haven't mastered
Who
it
can
yet.
teach me a baby hair class? Like, I know some of
Look,
our
we got
kitchen
kitchen
conversations.
conversation. I need baby hair conversations. too.
Yeah.
Like, we're just gonna
Teach
get
us
it right.
your ways. So we're casting for all the baby hair experts. Hit us up. Follow us on the gram. Let us know. So we'll put the tofu on your side.
Of course.
Yeah, we're
You
gonna
over
get
here
you. I'm trying to
me.
convert you. So
Slowly.
we'll make sure this oil gets a little warm first.
Okay. Just
Because we
roll
want
it
it
around.
to, yeah, just roll it. And if you want, you can add a little bit more in there.
Okay.
Because we want to make sure
Too
that
much olive
it
oil.
gives it a little, like a nice crisp.
Moisturize.
And we want to get a good crisp on the tofu, so I'm not
Okay.
eating mush.
Yeah, nobody wants mushy tofu. Okay. A little more?
Perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. So I have a question for you, Treesje.
All right, lay it on me. What you got?
So, you know, more recently, I feel like mental health and therapy has become more like common, especially in the Black community. Like people are ready to have these type of conversations.
Absolutely.
And I love it. I'm here for it. My older sister is a therapist. So I'm like, I told her, I was like, you've been therapizing me my whole life. She's like, therapizing is not a word. I'm like, no, you're therapizing me. Yeah, because it makes sense, right? Like, oh, I was just therapized. Like, it works.
Right.
So my big sister is a therapist. And like, so we've always had these conversations.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it's more common. Let's turn your heat up.
Turn my heat up?
Yeah.
All right.
That
there
should
we
be
go.
good.
That's better. Okay.
Yeah. So I feel like it's been more common, especially in the Black community, because growing up, I feel like it was more so like, just deal with it. You'll be all right.
Family business.
Family
We don't talk about that.
What goes on in this house
stays in this house.
Not anymore.
Right.
People are talking and people are healing, and I love that. I feel like COVID and the pandemic kind of made us heal and deal with ourselves. Ooh, that's perfect. And so because of that, what made you go into this field? Like, what made you want to be a therapist? Because having people dump all of their stuff on you, that's a lot. Even as a friend, like having my friends talk and dump, like sometimes it's a lot. So what made you want to sit with strangers and allow them to dump on you?
Yeah, well, I actually don't sit with strangers per se. I sit with kids. So I'm a school psychologist.
Ooh.
So I work with students in the high school setting. And the reason why I did that, because I didn't want to deal with grown-up problems. Like I like healing the babies. Right? I want to help the young people. And so I actually loved psychology because I was a friend that everybody dumped on. And I was really good at giving advice, but not really good at taking it myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was always fascinated by, this might sound a little creepy, I was always fascinated by like serial killers and like criminals and like, why would they do that? Why do people
why?
You know, I'm not, like, not just violence, that's not my career goal or nothing. But I was always fascinated with behavior of people and the motives behind behavior. And so I always felt like we do things because of how we feel. We do things because of how we think. We do things because of past trauma. And I felt like being a psychologist in the schools, I could help to heal that trauma. I could help to reverse some of those things and help to set students on a better path in their lives. And so that's why I wanted to work in the schools as opposed to like being a therapist and having my own practice or anything. Should I just dump all this in?
Yeah, you can dump it all in there.
I'm trying to be delicate.
Oh no,
tofu,
girl, dump it.
But
that's amazing because I feel like if we have more healed children, we have less broken adults. So you're actually doing us a great service.
Right.
So thank you.
You're welcome.
For your honorable service.
That was the plan.
It's dope.
Because as an African American psychologist, I feel like it's important that we have representation.
Absolutely.
And we have mental health professionals that look like us.
More of us. Because I think it is hard to sit in the office with someone who doesn't look like you, who does not come from the same type of background that you come from. And they're like, oh, but it's okay, Jessica. No, but is it? Is it okay?
Do you
get it? Do you get why I'm angry, or do you just think I'm a bad kid, or do you just think that I'm rude and I don't listen, or I'm loudmouth or aggressive? Like, do you understand what these aggressions are coming from?
Right.
What I've seen, what I've experienced. Are you able to really put yourself in my shoes and not just empathize, but really like see yourself in that position, or have an auntie or a cousin or a brother or a sister in a similar situation? So
and mental health professionals, as much as they are helping professionals, there's something about implicit bias. Like you sometimes don't even know that you're biased about a person's experience.
Right.
And so for me, I found that my kids connect with me on a whole different level than they do with other staff members because I'm a person of color.
Right.
So that's important. I think we need more of those.
Yeah, it's kind of like an instant trust.
Yeah.
You can kind of leave it so it can get like crispy, so we'll let it all have its place.
Let him like
and let it be.
Let it be.
Let it be.
I'm gonna let you be.
Yeah. We'll let these cook. We'll let these simmer.
All right.
And we'll keep talking because this is a good conversation to me. But yeah, I think it is important because even like growing up, I didn't really see too many teachers that even looked like me. I want to say my first Black teacher, I had one in 6th grade.
One in 6th grade?
I had one in 6th grade. And then I think I had my first like Black male teacher it was middle school because he was a PE teacher. So I didn't really see him like in the classroom. But outside of that, I don't know that I had any other like teachers that looked like me in my schooling.
Did you want to know when I had my first Black teacher?
College.
When I went to Spelman.
That's
That's
crazy.
the first person that I saw of color in education was when I made it to
That's
college.
not okay. That's not okay. What city did you go to school in?
Atlanta, Georgia, ATL.
Well, I know you went to college in Atlanta. Where did you go to, like, high school?
High school? I went to like so many high schools. Now you're making me think through my childhood.
I'm
You trying to
sorry.
therapize me?
I'm therapizer.
Inland Empire,
Oh, okay.
Rancho, Moreno Valley, those areas.
That makes sense because I went in Riverside and
Right.
didn't really see too many of me's. And we need more of that. So I'm so glad that you're in the schools. I'm
Thank
so
you.
glad that you're taking care of our babies so that we can have healed and healthy adults.
Yes.
So you're creative.
Yeah.
Like, you are creative. Can I be honest?
Yes.
Like, okay,
Please.
you're not gonna judge me?
No.
Okay. So, like, spoken word isn't like my favorite thing. Like,
Oh, no.
it has not ever been my favorite thing. Like, I'm probably not gonna go to poetry events and stuff like that. It's just
Not
not.
even mine.
But this is why I said this.
Okay.
But when this woman opens her mouth, I be like, wait, what? What do we do? What is the protocol? Because this is good. I've heard you on several different times on different platforms, some in the church setting, some in secular.
Yeah.
Every time, blown away. I don't even know how you're able to form these words and these analogies. It's amazing. It is amazing. And I don't just gas people up just because it's nice or just because we're in front of camera. I would have just not brought it up.
Right.
This woman is amazing. Google her, follow her on Instagram, do whatever you have to do, but find
You're
her.
hyping me up right
And if
now.
you
no
know,
pressure.
you like spoken word, poetry, this is your woman.
Now everybody's gonna be looking on my page like, she
As
said
they
she was
should.
all that. I don't know.
As they should. Go.
That song Mary Had a Little Lamb. Just saying.
Heard. But I know, as a creative,
Yeah.
quarantine kind of did something for all of us. It had its ups and its downs.
Yeah.
Usually, some people have really good creative sparks, but other people found themselves in creative droughts,
Stunted,
unable
stagnated.
to really create the way that they were. Because you're stuck in a house, you're not out in the world with people, so your creative expressions are stunted.
Yeah.
How are you able to remain creative in the midst of a pandemic? I'm gonna check.
Do I touch this one?
I'll let it simmer for a little bit longer.
Let tofu live. We're gonna let
Yeah.
tofu live. So for me, I found that I had more time to be creative.
Ooh.
And I found other avenues because I'm a mom too.
Mhm.
A lot of times,
The cutest kids, okay? The cutest kids.
a lot of times I couldn't go to poetry venues or make it to events because I had to find somebody to watch my boys and stuff. So during the pandemic, I was able to attend a lot of virtual poetry events.
Oh.
I was able to be in more places, and my art, if you will, had different expressions and it reached different people. I was on poetry events in the UK or in New York, and I didn't have to leave my house.
Right.
So that was really great. I also continued to facilitate an open mic. So I'm a host of Lion Like Mind State, poetry venue. And since we couldn't meet in person, we started doing Instagram Lives. And we started hosting open mics every week. And I got to create a space. You need some help?
I know. I'm gonna just get our broccoli ready to go in the oven and roast.
All right, come on, broccoli. But I was able to create a space for other people to express their creativity. I also started gardening. And
Ooh, you have a garden?
not yet. I started putting plants in the ground.
That's
And I'm trying to see
amazing.
if they live.
I want a garden.
This year, we're going to start our garden. So we taught the boys about land stewardship and different plants and how to put them together. And this year, we're going to teach them about growing vegetables, because I feel like sometimes people think painting or poetry is art. And you can be creative in so many ways. Look at you. You make so many cool foods, so many cool meals. And it's all about putting flavors together and colors together, right? And so...
we're not gonna do that one.
Slide it. But so that for me was awesome. I even started to look up baking recipes. So I didn't just write during the pandemic.
You found
I was
new
finding
creative expressions.
other ways to be creative, which then when I came back to my writing, I had more to write about.
This is so dope.
So it filled me up in a different way.
That's good to hear. I think that's even good stewardship over your creative gift, like allowing yourself to be filled in new ways and allowing yourself to like experience new things so that your main source of art is like operating at a greater level. So
because God isn't limitless, right? He doesn't just do one thing. Nope. So I think sometimes when we're creatives, we feel like this is what I do. But no, what we do is create. And that could be creating healthy children. That could be creating healthy meals like you do. And it could be creating poetry. Whatever it is, at the end of the day, we're putting beauty out in the world and we're using that to inspire other people. So I think that that's the most important. And then when we create beauty, guess what? People's mental health is better. It goes hand in hand. It literally can't have one without the other.
Ties in. I think really like last year I caught on to the concept like that health. You can stir the tofu now.
Right. It's like she put me in charge of this tofu, y'all. And I don't know what I'm doing.
You can go ahead and stir the tofu. Yeah, it's nice and brown.
Right,
I like it. So one concept that I really like grabbed a hold of over the last year was like health, like overall is wealth. A lot of times when people think health, they think what you eat, what you're doing, you're working out, so you're healthy, you're eating, so you're healthy. But I was doing those things, but technically I was unhealthy because my mental health was really suffering. Right. And so then I added in a therapist, and then I added in, I got me a whole therapist. If I can be honest, I'm gonna fire him soon. He was my good starting point.
I got a referral for you.
Oh, yes, I need one.
And she worked for creatives. She's my therapist.
Look at this. Look at this. It's working for me already. So I got one. I think he was an amazing starting point for me to get me into therapy. But I know that it's like time to take it up a notch. And I'm like, oh, he doesn't have what I need to take it up and really like deal with me and everything in me. But it was like in that I understood that I wasn't overall healthy. Because when you're overall healthy, it breeds like a sense of wealth. And that's outside of money. It's like wealth, like in what you do, like in your mind, like
you have peace.
Yes.
And peace is the most important capital that you can have.
That's a bar. Write it down. Take a picture. Screenshot it. I don't know.
Make it a tattoo.
Right. Make it a tattoo. And then tag Treesje in it so she knows that her words are on your body now. But it was just so necessary. And so I really like spent time, and I'm still spending time. I don't think that it's like a rival place. I think it's a constant like bringing yourself, because life happens. And so you continuously are healing from things. You're continuously dealing with things. You're continuously like,
and you might not be ready to start going through one part of your life. You need to work through this before you can even tackle this.
Absolutely.
So when you go to a therapist, it's not like, okay, I'm going to a therapist to work through this one thing.
Right.
Once you work through that, then other things are recovered, other things are uncovered. It's kind of like deliverance in the natural.
Ooh. Deliverance, my favorite. It's the children's bread. Can I get the olive oil, please? So we're gonna hurry up and get this broccoli in the oven.
Okay.
Granted, it doesn't take long because to roast vegetables, you don't want to keep them in there too long because we want to keep the nutrients. We don't want to overcook. Absolutely. Look at you. She's a good assistant in the kitchen. So we're gonna get these in there. I'm gonna drizzle some salt on it because little Miss Salt Bay in the kitchen. You see?
Fancy.
You see me?
Sprinkle
You see me? You see
Love
me?
it. I don't know how it looks so pretty when you do it that way.
It does. Like,
does
wow,
it taste better?
Look at it.
Does it taste better when you do it fancy?
I don't know. I like to think so. And then we'll add a little bit of pepper as well because I like pepper. I like spice. Do you like spice?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because
I love spice.
The seasoning that I made, I'm sure is a little spicy. And then because I just like the jerk flavor to overall flow throughout the meal, I'm gonna add some of the jerk seasoning to the broccoli as well.
Yeah.
We're gonna mix it up.
Good. When I was little, my grandmother used to cook all the time. I've been cooking since I was little. And my grandmother's favorite seasoning is pepper.
Really?
And so I start with pepper. Most people start with salt. I start my food with pepper.
Okay.
Just as like
you
a
don't
habit.
hold that for me while
I got you.
That's funny. My favorite seasoning is garlic. I will put garlic on anything and everything in life. Absolutely my favorite.
Why is that your favorite?
It's such good flavor. Like garlic just brings out the best in everybody. It's just delicious. And I think that it's like, no matter if you're cooking like Mexican food, Italian food, whatever you're cooking, I think garlic is good. So we'll add this into the oven.
Ooh, it's a little baby oven. This is cute.
Ain't that cute? And then we'll close that. We'll leave that in there for a couple of minutes. Okay, so our food is done.
Girl,
And it smells amazing. You smell it?
it's basking in the ambiance right now. It's taking me to a place.
So good. So we have our mixed grain rice, our roasted broccoli. I have my tofu. You have your chicken.
Yes, and I did taste the tofu while we were cooking it. I snuck a little piece.
Was it good though?
It was actually really good.
See,
so
I told
have
you.
to take the tofu to go.
Okay, we'll let you have the tofu. And then we also made a pineapple salsa because, you know, jerk's food has nice spice to it.
Yeah.
The pineapple salsa gives a nice, like, refreshing, like, so your mouth isn't on fire. So we have our nice little pineapple salsa.
And it gives a nice color too. Like everything looks so pretty and tropical.
Ain't it cute? It makes you want to go to Jamaica, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. We're gonna have to
All
go.
right, so let's eat.
Dig in.
Wait no more.
Oh my goodness, I cannot wait.
Just as good as I remembered it. Is it good?
Oh my gosh.
See, I didn't lead you astray.
That
And
is
it's
so
nice and
good.
healthy.
And
It's not
clean.
exactly low carb because we do have rice.
But I'm gonna eat this rice because this rice is bomb.
And it's a mixed grain rice. I paid extra money for the mixed grains. Oh, nice and good. I know you're eating.
Some sauce on it.
Okay, you just it. I just have one more question for you. So, you know, you're a creative, but you're also a psychologist. So both aspects, as we have talked about. What are some good keys for people who are dealing with like anxiety, depression, ADHD? Like, what are some creative expressions that they could use to like keep their mental health stable during this time and just forever? Because just because pandemic may have like alerted some people of issues that they have, it doesn't mean they just go away or that they didn't have them beforehand. I think we were just still long enough during this quarantine to realize like, oh, I got some problems. Let me deal with them.
Yeah.
So what are some ways that people can creatively like keep their juices flowing and have an exit, a release, so to speak?
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I'm actually looking into is poetry therapy. There's actually a field called poetry therapy. There's also like bibliotherapy, right, where you read books about certain issues. But I'm looking to become like a licensed poetry therapist, which is actually a thing. I didn't know it was a thing until this year.
That's dope.
But so one of the things that I've realized is that I've been writing since I was 13. And I didn't realize the reason why I was such a healthy young person is because I journaled and I wrote out my feelings. So I know it sounds cliche, but like poetry and journaling is one of the best ways to process through your emotions. We're such fast-paced people and we just always on the go. So sometimes we don't take time to really sit back and process through how we're feeling and walk through it. Those that don't write, right, you can draw or paint. There's a lot of actually really dope people on YouTube that do art therapy activities. One of my favorites that I've actually done before is you take all of the things that are painful and you write them on a piece of paper. Then you tear them up and then you create a mosaic out of those pieces. You glue all the pieces into a shape, a flower, a heart, and then you paint over that. So you're almost transforming the pain.
Wow.
And you're allowing yourself to go through the process of tearing it up and transforming it right before your eyes. That's one of my favorite activities to walk through.
I love that, and I'm actually going to implement it because that sounds like an amazing idea and a good release. I am a journaling person. I like to like get my words out, get my feelings out, release all my feelings. And I've noticed that I actually feel better when I'm consistently journaling than when I'm not consistently journaling. So you're probably right about that as well. Because she is the therapist, guys. She's the expert. I'm just the person going
I
through
think
it.
that one of the things we have to remember is that anytime that we are allowing ourselves to be still and experience the creativity of God, right? What He created, it also helps us to be centered, right? So going outside and looking at the plants and the things and that He's made, right? And kind of absorbing that and processing through that.
Right.
And like dancing. Dancing is such a good one because you move and our bodies need endorphins. And when we release endorphins, that's the happy.
Yeah,
That's the happy chemical.
drug.
That happy chemical, right? And so when you get moving from your body, and the expression of dancing also allows you to kind of get some of those emotions out and feelings. So.
I love it. Treesje, you're amazing.
Thank you.
I'm
babe.
so grateful that you decided to come in the kitchen with me today.
I'm glad that you did invite.
But we have one more thing. So because I dig into your lives, I ask you all the questions and all the other stuff. We allow you the opportunity to ask Jess. So you get to pick anything, life, wellness, health, personal, spirit, whatever you can think of to ask Jess. So what would you like to ask Jess?
Oh my goodness. I want to know, in this year, what has 2020 taught you?
Whew. Okay. I'm like, wow, she came in. She's therapizing me through
I'm
the
sorry.
question.
You asked me. I'm gonna ask you. Knew I was gonna ask a deep question.
I did. Okay, so I think one of the biggest things that 2020 taught me, and that I'm trying to like carry into, because we in 2021 now,
right.
Was how discipline was necessary for my mental health. Like when I wasn't disciplined in different aspects of my life, I realized that my mental health was declining. So like I was more like prone to fall into depression, or I was more anxious when I wasn't like disciplined in like my schedule, in my eating.
Routine.
I have to have a routine, because then it like helps with all the clutter of life, because I do a lot. I'm like naturally I sense a lot, I feel a lot. So it can be a lot at times. And so in 2020, I realized I was like overwhelmed with a lot of feelings and a lot of emotions and a lot of thoughts.
Yeah, you know, it's creative.
Right. And so because of that, and I didn't have like good structure, and I wasn't being as disciplined, I felt like I was all over the place. Like I was like dealing with more bouts of depression than I ever have. And I was like, what is wrong with me? Like, what can I like do? But what I realized when I started implementing like discipline and routine, it cleared up everything.
That's so interesting though, because I feel like creatives always present as free spirits and free flowing, but we need structure as creatives in order to thrive.
Right. So I feel like in like the creative aspect, like don't put boundaries on me if I'm in the kitchen. Don't put boundaries on me when I'm doing like the things that I enjoy, that like birth creativity. But in my day-to-day life, I need structure. Otherwise, I'm all over the place, because I'm just open. I'm just everywhere.
Just like this meal got structure, right?
Yeah. You build on it.
You built it. You plated it. And now we're here. And I am so glad that you let me come in here and cook in the kitchen, you know, charbroil your tofu and therapize you a little bit.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you joining me for the first episode of season 2 of Kitchen Conversations with Jessica. This has been absolutely amazing. It has been fun. It has been exciting. It has been therapizing.
We're going to add that to the dictionary.
We are going to add it to the dictionary. Thank you so much for joining me today for Kitchen Conversations with Jessica and Treesje. If you would like to find Treesje on social media, where can they find you?
Good question. Well, they can follow me on Instagram at Treesje Empowers. I also have a YouTube channel where all of my poetry and spoken word is, and also my website, treesjepowers.com, where you can book me for mental health workshops, poetry workshops, speaking engagements, all kinds of stuff. And stay tuned, because I have 2 books coming. So those will be released on the website as well.
Awesome! Make sure you guys go follow her, go to her YouTube, subscribe, do all the stuff. And then do the same for me. Because if you're here and you're not following my YouTube page,
what are you doing with your life?
You're not subscribed to my YouTube page. You're not following me on Instagram. You're not liking and commenting. Why? We're family at this point. Why would you not do that? So go ahead and do all of the things, and then come back next week for another episode of Kitchen Conversations with Jessica. Stay healthy and be blessed. Bye.